Welcome to Reading Sloth. It is exactly the middle of the year, July 2nd. Usually it's July 1st, but because we had that pesky leap day, it's the 2nd this year. And so, since it's the middle of the year, it is time for the mid-year book freakout tag. I will link whoever I need to link below, and also check out all the other ones because it's really interesting. My goal for the year is to read 100 books. It is my goal for most years. I have read 69 books so far this year, so it's a good start. So it's going well. This year I've really got into audiobooks. I have started using my library's app for audiobooks, and I find that I can just listen to more audiobooks a lot of the time. First up, best book of the year so far. And like anyone who is asked what their favorite book is, couldn't narrow it down to just one. Favorite fantasy? Definitely The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. Now you might be wondering why book 2 or book 3 isn't on the list. It's because I'm only 200 pages through book 2. So I'm only 200 pages through book 2 at the moment. And so I can't put that on this list yet. Stay tuned to the end of the year. Best contemporaries, I have picked I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson and Aristotle and Dante Discover of the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Aliri Sands. These two sort of give me the same feels because in each one there is two male characters that have like a really unique and interesting friendship, and it's just beautiful. I'll Give You the Sun follows two twins. One twin, we follow their perspective for the past, and the other twin, we follow their perspective in the future. It has a lot of art in it. There's art references all over the place, left, right, center. Just there's statues, there's descriptions of paintings, there's even sand sculptures. Whatever you can think of is probably in there. And lastly, a contemporary fantasy, The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness. I have always loved Patrick Ness ever since I read The Knife of Never Letting Go when I was a little young person. But this is really different. All his books are really different. This one follows a teen trying to make it through his last year at college, and a lot of really weird stuff happening. This book follows a group of teens who are trying to stay away from all the crazy stuff that is happening in their town with the indie kids. Each of the chapter titles tells you what's going on with these indie kids, whereas the actual chapters follow the main characters of the book. So the chapter title for chapter 1 is Chapter the First, in which the messenger of the immortals arrives in a surprising shape, looking for a permanent vessel. If that isn't the best thing ever, then I don't know what is. And the chapter titles keep getting longer. Next up, best sequel. Terry Pratchett's The Light Fantastic. Now, it's my goal to get through sequels this year. So far, I've managed to read 20 sequels. I am trying to read lots of sequels because I have a problem of not finishing series that I have started, and so I just want to get them done. The Light Fantastic is one of the best sequels I've read. Book 1 didn't grab my attention, it didn't capture me very much. Now, I've heard that the first book, The Color of Magic, is not where you start with Terry Pratchett, but I did not listen to those people. So when I read book 2, I was really happy to find that it is amazing. I listened to it on audiobook. It's just so funny. There's a character called Luggage. He's just a piece of luggage, and he is the best character. I've even got a tab for one of my favorite luggage parts. The luggage said nothing, but louder that time. If you like absurdist humor, Terry Pratchett's your man. Up next is a new release you haven't got to yet. The Court of Miracles by Kester Grant. House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. And one book that I don't own because it's not out in physical form in the UK yet. A Song of Wraiths and Ruins by Roseanne A. Brown. All these books are high up on my list, I just haven't got to them yet. Mostly because they're all the beginning of series and I don't like starting things where I can't finish them. Or apparently just finishing things in general. Next, most anticipated release. 2 books I'm really excited about actually come out in less than a week. A Beautifully Foolish Endeavor by Hank Green, sequel to An Absolutely Remarkable Thing. If you like aliens and YouTube, this book might just be the book for you. It's a contemporary sci-fi with puzzles, and Hank Green is one of the oldest members of the YouTube community. He actually started VidCon, and so he really gets the YouTube side of things spot on, according to some people. I haven't been on YouTube that long. I have no idea what it's like. Next, Loveless by Alice Oseman. I have enjoyed Radio Silence by Alice Oseman a lot. Wasn't too keen on I Was Born for This and Solitaire, but those were earlier works. This one follows an ace main character, which I'm really excited about because I am on the ace spectrum. I'm demisexual, and so I'm really excited to see more ace representation. If you have any ace recommendations, put them down below and I'm gonna put them on my list. Biggest disappointment. Other than the whole year of 2020 in general, the biggest disappointment for me is A Midsummer Night's Dream by William Shakespeare. Now you might be thinking, it's Shakespeare. You can't go wrong with Shakespeare, he's one of the greats. And I think the plays are plays and they are meant to be performed. I saw this as a play when I was really young and I really enjoyed it, and I thought I was going to really enjoy reading the play, but I didn't. It was really difficult because things would be rhyming for ages, everything rhymes really nicely, then you get to a rhyming couplet and it doesn't quite rhyme just because Old English is sort of pronounced differently and you're just like, oh, you don't rhyme, that's irritating. And then you sit there wondering, how is this word supposed to be pronounced so that it rhymes? Irritating. Biggest surprise. This one again. Now, I have mentioned this as best sequel, and that's because it was surprising, because I was let down by the first one, and it just picked it up, and overall, it was an amazing book. The plot went all over the place, which was really fun. Also, I'll Give You the Sun is also one of my biggest surprises, just because I thought that the split timeline probably wasn't going to work for me, but I was surprised. Favorite new author that's new to you or a debut author? Kirsten White, The Guinevere Deception. Now, I know Kirsten White has written a lot of other books, but this is actually the first one I picked up, and I really enjoyed it, and it's made me want to pick up more of her books. I also love this one because it's like an Arthurian legend retelling, and I really like that type of book. Side note, I do not like this book as much because of this edition. It's pretty, but it's American, which means here is my standard size paperback, and here is my American size paperback, which is different to a mass market sized paperback. What's the size difference in that? I mean, it's floppy, but it's annoying. It's about the same size as a UK hardback. And what is up with American books not cutting the front cover to the size of the pages? American fiction books. Another favorite author. Now, this isn't a favorite author, but the potential to be a favorite author. Robin Hobb. Robin Hobb has the potential to be a favorite author. I've really enjoyed the first 2 books in this trilogy. They've both gotten 4 stars, but there are 16 books in the whole world overall, and I feel like they're just gonna get better as time goes on, and so I think she's gonna become a favorite. Short side mention, this is the year I started reading Brandon Sanderson, and he's definitely a favorite. His plot twists, his character development, his world building, he bamboozles me a lot, and I like it. If all the world were Brandon Sanderson's. I'm really excited to continue with his works. Up next, newest fictional crush. Now, as we established before, I am demisexual and I do not get crushes on fictional characters like at all ever. But if I were to pick characters where I just want to sort of protect them and I want what's best for them in the world and in life, Anna Lightwood from Chains of Gold. Here she is. I love her. She's who she wants to be, and I just want to see her happy. Also, Marcel from Bonecryer's Moon by Catherine Purdy. A really interesting book about killer women who protect the land of the living from the land of the dead. But Marcel is your classic little bookworm. He collects little tidbits of knowledge. I like that. New favorite characters. Now, this is different to fictional crush because I can like a character in different ways, apparently. First up is actually a duo, Ty Blackthorne and Kit Herondale from the Dark Artifices series. I think that they're just so cute together, and I hope that they succeed in life, and I just want them to sort of be friends forever and go on little adventures. Next favorite character is Vin from Mistball. She's sort of badass, but also likes dresses sometimes. She's also just looking for acceptance, which I love, in her little group. The next character, which is my favorite, is the narrator from the Sleeping Giants series. You don't know much about him and you don't know his name, but he's got that sort of dry sense of humor that makes me laugh a lot. I think the audiobook for Sleeping Giants really helped with that. If you like, again, robots and aliens and science, lots of sci-fi, Sleeping Giants. Sylvain Neuvel. Ooh, book that made you cry. Books and movies don't tend to make me cry. In fact, this year I haven't actually cried real tears from a book The book that got me closest to crying, though, The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. Oh boy, this book was full of emotionally impactful scenes, and it almost got me. Not quite, but almost. Now we're going to the other end of the scale, book that made you happy, and boy did books make me happy this year. The Rest of Us Just Live Here, those chapter titles were great. They made me laugh so many times, and I read the chapter titles all over again just as a separate book. Just just on their own. The Selection series. This book is such a fast, light-hearted read, sort of like The Hunger Games meets The Bachelor. Very apt description. But I was reading it and it just made me happy. It made me smile, it made me squeal. I had emotions for a lot of it. I am just going to go with Terry Pratchett as a whole. I have read 3 books of his in this half of the year, and each one has made me laugh, smile. There's some absurd quotes in them. And lastly, the Wizards of Want series. David Tennant is the narrator for these books, and his voices, also the jokes. If you have a sort of silly and young sense of humor, then you'll find them funny. But the friendships make me smile, and I really like it when inanimate objects are animated. So if you like a spoon that has a great personality, then you'll enjoy The Wizards of Once. Alright, next up is a category that goes against what people tell you. They tell you, don't judge a book by its cover. Well, this is books with the most beautiful covers that you've bought this year. Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. It's so pretty. Ooh, and the second book cover has been released, and even though I don't like it as much as the first, mainly because bugs, I love it, and I can't wait to get a matching one. House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. Not only is this pretty, but this is even more pretty. It looks really good in real life. Also, it's got red pages and sprayed edges are the best. Lastly, The Court of Miracles, because this blue edges. Ooh. But wait, there's more! Not only do you have a map, you have crests for all the families, a contents page. Who does contents pages these days? And the lore of the Court of Miracles, as well as beautiful title pages. It's got everything I want in a book, including a beautiful naked spine. And now we've made it to the last question. Is this video as long as 2020? Not by a long shot. Books I hope to get to by the end of 2020. I started out the year with a list of 20 books I wanted to read in 2020. I've actually made good progress. Even though I've got a lot of books left, I am going to pick some of the highlights. Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas, because I need to read this series because people on the internet love it. Inheritance, because this book's been out for years and it's the last in a series and I want to find out what happens, and there's a big battle in it and there's dragons and I don't know why it's halfway through the year and I still haven't read it. Halfway through the year? The next book is a classic, 1984. I can't believe I've gotten to this point in my life and I haven't read it. And I feel like every year that passes, we're getting closer and closer to it becoming a reality. That's what people say, and I still don't know what they're talking about. Lastly, one that's not on my books of 2020 to read, but I need to read it. City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. I don't know why I haven't read it yet. I think I've been waiting for the last book to come out. And now that it is, I need to get on it. It's sort of based on a mythology that I love, which have genies and jinn, and it's right up my alley, and I don't know why I haven't picked it up yet. And there you have it. That's how my 2020 is going so far. Halfway through the year, let's try and make the second half of the year even better. Is it possible? Probably not in terms of reading, but let's hope that 2020 is good, is better than the first half of the year, just in general. Life went straight down after that leap day. Oh boy. So there you have it, a substantial amount of books. Did I have to pick more than one answer for each question? No, I didn't. Did I want to? Yes, I did. Hopefully you find something you want to read. Links are where links go. Thanks for watching. This has been Reading Slow.